what should be your core team? Let's talk about that. Hello guys, Wilsonbox here, and in this video I want to talk about which core team you should pick for this new season, Season 2. So we have these 3 new elements. I already did a video talking about the different elements and which one is stronger, but this will really depend on your heroes, alright? Because it doesn't matter to know which affinity is stronger if you don't have the right heroes to play this season. So one of the strongest things that you need to think about, and the most important, is healers. So you need to have some healers, because as you should know from the past season, where you're gonna have to fight some bosses several times and we can use the same heroes more than once. So that's why it's important that we have some healers to help us, and also a tank, it's also important. So those are the important things. We also need some debuffs, but eventually we can get those debuffs. Alright, on the end game I think the Ice and Radiance are really the strongest ones, but this is just Infinity. If you don't have the right heroes, it doesn't matter choosing the best affinity. So when you're choosing your core element, you need to think about if you have healers, tanks, debuffs, if you have good heroes to farm Goblin Lair, because you're gonna need to farm Goblin Lair a lot until you level up all your heroes to 100. You need to have some good DPS for Vortex and some more good heroes for all the other content. So you must choose the most balanced element that you can play with. So let's take my example, Radiance Ice for sure, because well, this is basic. I do some content and most of the times I try to use only free-to-play heroes, so this means I'm not using legendaries, but when I'm playing by myself I have Filtu, and Filtu is an amazing character. He's good for Goblin, he's good for Vortex, he's good for I was lucky to get him, he's good for several content. So that's my main reason why I'm going with Ice Radiance, because I have this guy. Basically it's this. He cleans Goblin Lair like really fast. He's good for doing damage on Vortex. That's because I also have Laurentel, that is really good as well. And I have some Ice Blast heroes, so I think I'm gonna invest them a little bit more later and try to increase my damage on Vortex. And basically this is the reason. Then I have some more tanks on the Ice side. I have this guy as well. I have healers. I have DPS from the Ice team. I have some debuffs as well, so I have a bit of everything. The only thing I'm missing is healing prohibition. I don't have any hero with healing prohibition, but you don't need to rely only on one of the elements you are choosing. You can still use some of the other heroes, but of course the element you're choosing and you are going on now will be your strongest one. And let's have a look to the affinity. So regarding the affinity, as you can see, I'm already investing only on Ice Radiance in these ones. And guys, the thing here, you can split this over here, but the problem here, your early game probably will be a bit better, but then the end game will be harder. So your main goal here is to try to reach the fastest possible these last ones, because these ones, they will increase your damage a lot. Especially for Ice Radiance, for me, these ones, they're gonna increase a lot of the damage, and especially I think this is gonna increase Ice Blast heroes a lot, is that their damage. Also, as I talked about before, I think the Fire Necrosis is good as well, and Lightning Poison I don't think it's that good. But that's alright, because the most important thing to choose now, it's your heroes, okay? So if you have good healers and good tanks, you're probably gonna have Exander for sure, you're gonna have Sigrid. If you have Frubart, he's a really good tank, so you can rely on him. You should have Irina as well. She's a good DPS, and she can apply attack penalty as well. So I think from the Lightning Poison side, I think probably will be a really good theme, probably will be the better team for most of the people, because I think from the Ice Radiance it's a bit hard. You really need to have lucky with your summons and get good heroes, especially with the Radiance side. If you don't have the good legendaries from the Radiance side, then they are not that useful. Just the healers, the Radiance, they have really good healers. They have Quarion, he's been using a lot on these early stages of Grave of Venom and Grave of Curse. And we also have Katarina, she's good for rot as well, she's good for a lot of things. But basically that's it. Then from the ice side we have some shields, some debuffs, some tanks, but we don't have any healers that I can remind. So that's it. But for me, I have good heroes for this team, so that's why I'm going Ice Radiance. So I think for most of the people, Lightning Poison will be the best one, because I know most of the people, they have these characters I talked about before. Fire Necrosis, most of the people, they should have Erich and Horus, which are really good. It's a good DPS and a good tank, but you don't have like really good healers on Fire Necrosis element. You don't have really good tanks. Maybe you can do one good team, but I don't think you can create like two good teams with only Fire Necrosis heroes. So my advice is just pick the team where you have the best heroes, with a more balanced team with healers, tanks, some debuffs, and a team that is good for, at the moment at least, is really good for Goblin Lair, and should be good for Vortex as well, because Vortex is not the most important thing at the moment, but if you don't start investing on Vortex now, everyone will be above you, and when you get to the late game will be harder to reach them. So it's important that you can choose an element that is good for both things, for Goblin Lair to farm it and also for Vortex, because if you have a good team for Vortex, you're gonna have a good team for those bosses from the events, like the event they're gonna do with the Radiance hero, and probably we're gonna have like the Chaos bosses where we need to fight one boss, and we're gonna need a team of 5, and probably we can fight him 6 times, and we're gonna need 6 different teams. So that's why this is important to have a good team for AoE and also for a single target. Alright guys, so I hope this video helped you guys to choose what elements you want to go with. So if you have any questions, leave on the comments below. I'll try to help everyone that comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to follow more content like this. Thanks for watching and see you next time.